Are apartments good in a zombie apocalypse? It's by the Undead Theory. Um, we're just gonna check it out. Exploring the pros and cons of trying to survive a zombie apocalypse in an apartment building should be interesting.
Ever since I saw a wreck back in 2007, I wondered, could you actually survive an outbreak in an apartment building? That movie made one thing clear. If you're not quiet, you're not alive. And your neighbor's
It would
idea
be
of
pretty
stealth is
difficult
screaming bloody murder while swan diving down the stairwell.
This movie, Wreck and Quarantine, both of them, they're pretty much the same thing, just English and one Spanish. Both of the movies are great. I recommend them.
Then came Night Eats the World. A lonely guy goes full introvert with zombies below. And then Sweet Home and #Alive rekindled my interest. So let's stop wondering and actually break it down. Let's set the ground rules so we're on the same page first.
Damn.
Classic walkers, no Olympic sprinters. Just your quintessential zombie. As for the apartment building, we're talking about your typical basic ass apartment building. Cheap ass walls, thin enough to hear your neighbors sneeze through. You, alone or with a small group of 4 to 6 people, minimal gear, some street smarts, and no plot armor. You're not out here playing hero.
Literally.
You're just trying to avoid becoming a permanent stain in the hallway like your neighbor over here. Alright, let's pretend you're not totally screwed and go over all the things that give you a fighting chance. Upper floors put distance between you and the chaos. Zombies can't climb well either, so if you block or destroy the stairwell, you've got a bottleneck that's easy to defend. Balconies and rooftops are perfect for makeshift guard.
I mean, what kind of zombies are we talking about? Because you're showing Dying Light at night, you're done for, buddy. Doesn't matter if it's an apartment building or not. World War Z zombies? Even worse. You're destroyed. What else? What else do we got?
Are collecting rainwater. They're also ideal for yelling at other survivors like your medieval landlord.
Your mother was a hamster.
I don't know.
And your father smelt of elderberries.
Most apartment buildings only have a few ways in, and you can barricade those like your rent depends
That's
on
a
it.
pro and a con, though.
They also have narrow stairwells that you can use to funnel zombies or raiders through. Realistically, you won't be able to block every door and window though. Some things will slip through, so you'll need to stay alert and reinforce what you can. Your best bet is probably to block or destroy the stairs to cut off access entirely, but that means you'll need to figure out a reliable way to get back up or down. Every unit is a potential treasure chest. You might find abandoned food, batteries, or tools. Maybe even weapons. There could be old radios, walkie-talkies, or if you're lucky, a hidden stash of Twinkies. Multiple apartments means multiple chances to get lucky. Supply-wise, not romantically. That shit probably sailed when the outbreak happened. If you've got a small group with you, you can rotate shifts for lookout duty, divide chores, and cover more ground. Someone keeps watch while another person prepares food, another packs up gear, and one unlucky bastard gets to take care of the clogged toilet situation.
Stay at a toilet. Oh, wow.
Hell no.
Absolutely disgusting.
Bonus points if someone's got medical skills or is just really good at staying calm when things go sideways. Being in the city means you're surrounded by potential supply runs. Pharmacies, hardware stores, and markets are all within walking or running distance. Risky, sure, but in the early days while others are panicking, you might actually stockpile enough to stay put for a while. Even solo, you should be able to get enough goodies if you're early enough to the looting extravaganza. If you have rope, bed sheets, a long extension cord, then you've got options. You can put up a pulley system between balconies to move supplies. Rig up a fire escape or emergency slide with a mattress. Hell, you can even zip line to the next building if you've got the nerve to do it and a decent landing strategy.
All for one zombie?
Even if the grid's gone, some buildings have backup water tanks, solar panels, or emergency generators. If the plumbing still works for a bit, you can fill every tub in the apartment building, every pot, and every empty bottle you find. Stockpile water like it's post-apocalyptic gold, which it honestly kind of is. Beds, blankets, furniture, even working toilets. These aren't just luxuries, they're anchors to the old world. In the middle of an undead nightmare, that little slice of normalcy can keep you sane. A familiar ceiling to stare at, a door to close, a warm corner where you don't have to sleep with one eye open or swat the bugs off your face. That's the kind of psychological buffer that keeps your sanity intact. Even if everything outside is pure chaos, inside, you're in your own little bubble. If you're alone, you can move quietly and avoid drawing attention. No noisy group chatter, no one tripping over furniture, and no accidental alarms going off. When stealth is your best defense, flying under the radar can be a real lifesaver. Solo survivors can slip through tight spaces, listen for danger without distractions, and change plans on the fly without having to convince everyone else. You don't have to worry about someone else panicking or making a bad call. Need to hide in a closet for a few hours? No problem. Want to sneak past a hallway full of zombies without somebody sneezing at the worst possible moment? That's much easier on your own. Alright, now that we've enjoyed our little survival daydream, let's get real about all the things that can actually take us out. Apartments aren't farms. Once you've raided the cupboards and eaten every last can of beans and pasta in a 10-floor radius, you've got a serious problem. Balconies and rooftops might give you space to grow a few herbs or tomatoes, but that's not a food plant, that's garnish. Long-term survival means leaving the building, and that's where things get dangerous. If the ground floor gets overrun, you're stuck above it, cut off from any escape. Elevators are useless, and fire escapes either non-existent or totally exposed, meaning every zombie, looter, or desperate survivor can see you climbing it from a block away. It's basically a spotlight on a ladder telling everyone how to get into your base. So if you destroyed your only way down to stay safe, congrats. You've just upgraded your apartment to a deluxe panic room with a view. Just remember, when zombies pile up below, you're less of a survivor and more of a limited time rooftop special. Apartments burn and they burn fast. All it takes is one bad cooking accident, one Molotov tossed from a panicked survivor, or one power surge to turn your shelter into a giant barbecue. There's no escape hatch, just smoke, panic, and maybe a dramatic leap off a balcony you regret halfway down.
Yeah, this apartments are probably
Running a
not the best
generator,
place.
slamming doors, arguing with Dave from 4B about canned peaches. Sound travels, zombies hear it, hostile survivors hear it, and if you're lighting candles or flashlights at night, you've basically got a glowing neon sign that says, hey, dinner's upstairs. Early on, you might get away with this, but as people get desperate, you're going to want to keep a low profile. Most apartments aren't exactly made of castle-grade material. We're talking thin drywall, cheap wood, hollow corridors that you can practically rip in half like cardboard.
They would put Rampage on here.
If a raider wants in or enough zombies slam against your door, you're not holding them back, you're just delaying the inevitable. Zombies don't clean up after themselves. If you kill one in the hallway, that's a biohazard. If someone dies in the unit next door and turns, that smell is coming through the vents. You're going to need to sanitize, quarantine, and figure out what to do with the bodies. Suddenly, you'll realize the real horror isn't the zombies, it's figuring out who's on corpse duty this week. If you're solo, then it's perma-corpse duty for you, so good luck and have fun with that. Broken bone, gut infection, or food poisoning. You're not getting airlifted out. There's no ambulance on the way either. Even a simple injury could spiral into death or worse, make you turn. Every scrape is a potential disaster. And every cough gets suspicious looks from the group. Got a fever? Congratulations.
It's
You're
like
now
a
the most
prank.
unpopular person on
What
the
is
floor.
this?
4 to 6 people locked in tight quarters with stress, hunger, and fear. Arguments will happen. Maybe over food, maybe over sleep shifts, maybe over someone eating the last Twinkie without asking. Worst case scenario, someone cracks under pressure. And now you've got an inside threat to deal with, but if you're solo, then you're good on this front.
Shaun of the Dead, great
Urban
movie as
areas are
well.
the first to fall. More people means more zombies, and more zombies means more danger right outside your walls. The undead don't knock. They pile up, break through, and never stop coming. All it takes is one breach, one horde, or one desperate group kicking your barricade, and your stronghold becomes a tomb. Water pressure, electricity, and gas, it won't last forever. And when those go, so does the illusion of normalcy. No lights, no hot shower, no flushing toilets, just darkness, desperation, and a countdown to your next supply run. And the later you are into the zombie outbreak, the riskier and less lucrative these supply runs become. Climbing stairs constantly takes a toll, especially with supplies. You'll wear out fast. And if you're solo, the mental toll of being isolated with nothing but moaning downstairs and creaks in the hall, that can push anyone past the edge, even without a bite. Before we make the final call, let's break down the pros and cons one last time. Upper floor gives you distance and defensive control. Few entry points make building easier to secure and funnel threats. Lots of loot. Every apartment's a chance to find food, tools, or gear. Small groups can rotate duties, stay alert, and keep things running. City access means early supply runs could stock you up fast. Improvisation. Ropes, sheets, cords can help you move gear or escape creatively. Hidden utilities, like backup water or power, can buy you time. Comfort matters. Bed, furniture, working toilets help you stay sane. Going solo means stealth, silence, and total control of your actions if that's the route you want to go. The cons. Noise travels, and one slip up can bring the horde. Trapped inside if exits get blocked or overrun. Thin walls mean even whispers
I'm
can
not
be
staying
risky.
in an apartment
Supplies
building.
run
I
out
don't know
fast
about
if you
y'all.
can't resupply. Isolation hits hard, especially solo. Buildings break down along with plumbing, air, and sanitation. Fires are deadly and hard to stop once they start. Other survivors might be a bigger threat than zombies. You're in Zombie Central. Cities equal more undead. Medical emergencies are a death sentence without help or supplies. Group tension, clashing personalities, stress, and mental fatigue. Bringing supplies up and down stairs is exhausting. Eventually, you have to go further and further for supplies. So, could you survive a zombie apocalypse in an apartment building? If you're with a group of 4 to 6 people, you've got a solid shot, especially early on. You can share the load, protect each other, loot more efficiently, and keep morale up. Short-term group survival rating, 7 out of 10. Long-term group survival rating, 4 out of 10. You simply cannot stay here forever, so long-term probably won't work. Short-term, you have a good shot at getting by for a while, especially if you get some early looting done. You're juggling everything alone. Security, supply runs, cooking, all while trying to keep your sanity together. Short-term, solo survival rating, 4 out of 10. Long-term, solo survival rating, 2 out of 10. Short-term, you might be able to get a lot done on your own and fly under the radar. Long-term, things will start looking bad for you. Without skill diversity and the ability to multitask, survival becomes increasingly difficult. It's somewhat doable alone if you're crafty, lucky, or just too stubborn to die, but odds are way
Honestly,
steeper.
I think it depends on the person. You know, some people like solitude of being alone, and they can remain like, sane, somewhat sane, for a very long time by themselves.
Apartments offer a great start, especially in the chaos of the first few weeks, maybe even months. But long term, you'll either need to adapt, move, or risk becoming the upstairs neighbor no one hears from anymore, for very undead reasons. Alright,
Yeah, but it would kind of suck to be in an apartment building during an apocalypse. Yeah. My favorite story in World War Z was about the Japanese recluse who slowly rappelled down his skyscraper over a month or so. He built up muscle and toned his body as he descended, eventually finding a sword. He'd raid apartments as he went down, sleeping on the patios to restore his energy. By the time he reached the ground floor, he was ready to face the apocalypse. I honestly think the worst part of an apartment is your neighbors. You can do everything right, but you're still in a shared building with people who all have their own goals and plans and panic responses. In all zombie media I see, the character is alone in their apartment building, but in real life, all your neighbors would be sheltering in place too. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Depends, but probably for the most part. You could grow more than enough food on the roof. The issue is most of us don't know shit about growing food, may struggle to find seeds, and it takes time. Starting a garden will help if you're already hungry. The problem with zombie scenarios, or really any form of prepping for that matter, is you're fighting a war of attrition with limited supplies. If you can't renew, refresh, or recycle, you may as well not even try to shelter in place. Valid points. Some valid points. I'll give them that. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, check out Undead Theory. I'll see you guys next time.